throughout human history, we have learned by doing, and then, hey, looking to see what the results are, and then going from there, right? It's like, for all of the plants that we know are poisonous, for all of the fish that we know are poisonous, someone had to try it first. It's like, oh, hey, Bob ate that plant and now he's dead. Check that off. But sometimes you just have to stick your finger in the light socket twice, just in case the first time was a fluke. It's like, hey, what if Bob died because Bob was weak? What if Bob is a wussy? What if that plant is awesome, man? Maybe we have to give it a shot. This is a long way of getting into the undersized first-round center debate, where Garrett Bradbury, first-round pick in 2019, the number 18 overall pick, hasn't quite worked out. The anchor issues that plagued him at NC State, the Grim Reacher, hasn't really panned out for the Vikings, although the new regime may be like, mama, I can change him. I'm not really holding my breath. They're going to decline his fifth-year option, and it sort of is what it is. But this is a long way of getting into Tyler Linderbaum. So I fully understand that it gives Vikings fans the creeps. Hey, another undersized movement-based zone scheme center in the first round, probably going to be drafted in the teens. I get it. I understand it. But Tyler Linderbaum is a dude, man. He is just built different, and he is probably the best center prospect in the last decade in the National Football League. I think that the Jason Kelce comparisons are legit, and it's like passing up a chance to date someone awesome or start a relationship with someone awesome because they have the same name as your ex or they look like your ex. It's like, hey, I don't trust you, Donna number 2. Whatever. Anyways, this Donna number 2 deserves a chance to be at the dance, man. Linderbaum is just... He's just that guy. And again, I fully understand that there's some trepidation here. We're just like, oh, here we go again. But Linderbaum, you always say, don't scout the helmet, scout the player. So it'd be like, oh, Ohio State quarterbacks never work out, or USC wide receivers, blah, blah, blah. No. Scout the player, not the body type and draft position. We need to think of something catchier. But, yeah, let's talk about Tyler Linderbaum, the pride of Iowa today. Background, 6'2", 296, 22 years young. It was actually his birthday on the 7th, so happy belated birthday, bro. Redshirt junior, a former 3-star recruit from Salon, Iowa, which is just 15 minutes outside of Iowa City. He might have grew up a Vikings fan. We don't really know. But, yeah, it was fait accompli that he was going to be a Hawkeye. He did have visits with the Gophers and Iowa State, but, I can't. Okay, he was always going to be in black and yellow. Plus, he was a former high school wrestler as well as high school shot putter, which I love when linemen, especially offensive linemen, especially interior offensive linemen, have a wrestling background because it just teaches them, especially if they compete at a high level, it just teaches them leverage, discipline, strength, explosiveness, and just really getting after it. And it just ingrains a tenaciousness, especially a discipline of getting up for workouts, cutting weight. It just builds that grit and toughness, and I love it. Plus, being a shot putter, we talked about how great it is that Chris Reed was a D2 champion shot putter because it just requires so much explosiveness and strength and coordination with the lower body, which really lends itself nicely to interior offensive linemen. So it's a good side for Linderbaum, good side for Chris Reed, etc. He was a 3-year starter for the Hawkeyes. He only allowed 2 sacks and 19 pressures in 1,201 career pass blocking reps. And by the way, they got some decent-sized defensive tackles in the Big Ten. It was kind of a big deal. It's like our thing, man. We're corn-fed. Also, he's only committed 2 dose penalties in his career. So 2 sacks, 19 pressures, 2 penalties. That's a typical game for some Vikings linemen. Also, he had 0 penalties committed in 2021, which is amazing because last year he won the Remington Trophy for the best center in all of the country. Unanimous All-American, obviously. Also, what's amazing is his 95.4 PFF grade was the highest for any player in the country last year. Any player. Any. As a center. Just amazing, man. Pros. Movement skills. Iowa runs a ton of outside zone. That's what they're known for. That's what Kirk Ferentz likes to do with that offensive line. Plus leverage. So wrestling background, playing in a lot of zone. He really utilizes leverage and angles well. Coordination, and he's just fantastic when he gets out in space. So the best part about Bradbury is when he gets out in space, on screens, on outside tosses, etc. And Linderbaum certainly has that in spades. Also the explosiveness. Like he gets the snap off quick. He's able to fire in, get his hands up, and that's how you can negate going up against some 350-pound nose tackles. Like, hey, low man wins in this game, and Linderbaum can be low, and also you can be the firstest with the mostest. That's how you get there. So he can get the snap off. I mean, some centers, they take a while with the snap, and then they take a hot second to get their hands up. But Linderbaum got a good punch, gets all up in there. He's smart, calls line calls for the Hawkeyes. Feisty, just gets after it, work ethic, first in, last out type dude. Cons, undersized. That's really about it. That is really it. So you have all of this amazingness, and the only con is he's undersized. And the only thing that's holding back Vikings fans is Bradbury. There you go. We got the right slide. Because of the experiences. Because say if the Vikings had never drafted Bradbury and have had a center need for all time, it'd be like, oh yeah, obviously we're going after Linderbaum. He's gonna be the next Mick Tingelhoff. He's gonna be the next great Vikings undersized center. Blah 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 blah. But don't let Bradbury not panning out stop the Vikings from taking potentially, like we said, the best center prospect in the last decade. And then looking at the Vikings offensive line right now, I mean, Linderbaum would just plop in right away at center. And then, hey, Chris Reed, Jesse Davis, Wyatt Davis, whoever, Davis, all the Davises, all the Davis-I can compete for that right guard spot. And left to right, Darrisaw, Ezra, who's really coming to his own at left guard. Then you have Tyler Linderbaum, who's probably going to play that center spot for 15 years, and then whoever wins at the right guard spot, and then you got Brian O'Neill, who's becoming one of the best right tackles in the game. Baby, you have a stew going. So, again, don't let the experiences with Bradbury just sour on you on potentially a fantastic center. We're talking about all-pro caliber center in Tyler Linderbaum. And he's a guy that if they took him at 12, I would not be upset. If they trade back into the teens or maybe even the early 20s, they could probably still snag Linderbaum because a lot of the same biases that Vikings fans, because of the Bradbury experience, have against Linderbaum, other teams do too. Like if Linderbaum was 330 pounds, this wouldn't be an issue. Even though he plays an undervalued position, if he weighed 330 and still had all of this nice in terms of movement skills, he would be easily a top half of the first round pick. So I don't see why this is so controversial. We have a position of need on the interior offensive line. You have a chance to grab a generational prospect at his position, and just because the last guy, they're very similar and didn't work out, doesn't mean that Linderbaum won't. So I like the analogy. It's like, oh, it's like your ex. It's like Donna 2. Come on, man. Let's go, baby. Anyways, let us know your thoughts and our thoughts why the Vikings need to draft Iowa center Tyler Linderbaum. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.